Hi. So recently I heard talks about artists in the entertainment industry, music industry, movie industry, entertainment industry in general are very superstitious, and that is being stated as something negative or something backwards, something illogical. It's stated as comedy that artist does, but I don't know what people means when they say superstition. The word superstition. Generally, people who doesn't know anything are talking and commenting about this sort of superstition. Superstition is just a word, just an umbrella term for their ignorance, maybe, because we cannot understand the meaning of superstition, what they call as superstition. When it comes to a certain belief, like everything is a belief, when it comes to a certain belief, if you can work it out, that belief, then that is a real thing that exists. But when it goes to a certain extent, that becomes dangerous, that is negative, and you cannot call that a superstition even. That is not a superstition, that is something extreme. So superstition, how can I give an example for that? Because artist being superstitious is not being superstitious. Artist is being calculative with their informations and their routines and their belief systems. Because from an Indian perspective, in movie industries and all, we conduct pujas before starting of a project. It's family, everybody is familiar with that. And superstitions regarding release dates, all these things, distribution wise and all that. But an artist also, why superstitions matters? I mean, like, why the superstition is not the superstition, as they say? Because life is a pattern. If you look in your life, like there is a pattern. Like, for example, from January to December, my routine is the same. Like January will be a certain way, February will be a certain way, and all those 12 months will be a certain way. So in those days, those months, different months, body functions differently, mind functions differently, situations functions differently, it reflects differently, it gives an output differently. That is not coincidence, that is purely a science. Because if you're really aware of that, a lot of people are not aware of that, that people are always making this excuse of superstitions and things like that. They are trying to be more modernized or some scientific, more scientific, but this is actually a science that people have forgotten. Because if you know yourself, if you learn that pattern, it's always the same. My pattern will be not your pattern. Like my January will be a certain way. That maybe for you that will be in June. But it's always the same in your routine. Like how is your June? That will be your June next year also. It will be some, I mean, like according to your journey. Like if you are in a certain parts of a country, like if you are in America, you have a certain situations there. If you are in a different country, like Africa or somewhere, it will be a different thing. But the pattern will be the same. So why I am saying this is because an artist, when they sign a project or when they go for a tour, if we say a singer, like in certain months he cannot perform. Like maybe like let's say like past month, May will be a really productive month for certain people. So on top of their talent, their positive vibes, everything is up in the time of May. So they will sign a particular contract in that time because they know the system, they know how they function, they know how their mind functions, body functions, and to give the best output. Maybe they can perform good in different times of the year, but still their peak performance comes in the time of May or whatever, which is a favorable month for them, a favorable time for them. So that is why people are being superstitious. That is not superstition. That is knowing your craft, when and where you are at your highest and lowest, and doing things accordingly. Because when you make a movie, it's not made in 1 day or 2 days. You have to put a lot of money, a lot of effort. It's a big project. If you go for a tour, a concert or something, it involves a great production. So it shouldn't fail. It should produce the maximum effort so that we can create a maximum impact. So that is the thing behind this thing. So it cannot be called a superstition.